Hello and welcome to the Talk Villa YouTube channel. I'm your host Sumit Paul, and after the reaction to my João Gomez video last week, and honestly having enjoyed putting that one together, I'm back with another analysis video after watching both George Hemmings and Brian Madjo in action as Villa fell to a 2-1 defeat to PSG in our UEFA Super Cup meeting in Salzburg on Wednesday night. As I noted in my post-match podcast, which is now available, there was obviously disappointment over the result and not winning another trophy, but I thought there was so much reason for optimism and positivity based on the performance, with Villa deserving more from the game. Now, Ian Maatsen, John McGinn and Emi Buendia all played really well, I thought, but naturally, after getting the nod to start, it was our young duo of Hemmings and Madjo who stole the headlines, and as I have been with Hemmings for some time now, and with Madjo over pre-season, I was so impressed with how they both played against the best side in Europe. So I thought it was worth digging into what they do really well a little bit more. And let's start with Hemmings first. And I think the point of this video, or the point that I wanted to get across, is to go beyond the obvious if I can. Particularly in the case of Madjo, given his physical appearance and his strength, it's easy to just focus on those qualities and miss the rest of what he does really well. But I think there's so much more to both of these two that give them a genuine chance of cracking the code and being part of Unai Emery's plans for this season and beyond. Now with Hemmings, we saw him struggle in the deeper midfield pivot against RB Salzburg in the Europa League last season. He was substituted at half-time in that game, and at that time I genuinely thought it was a real blow, as I thought he might have missed his chance to make an impression at senior level and then go down that path of many of his old teammates of a loan and then perhaps a permanent exit further down the line. To his credit though, and this is what John McGinn was saying after the game in his post-match interviews, it's not just the talent with Hemmings. He has a willingness to learn and get better, and that has come in a new position as a left-sided number 10. So in this first image on screen now, and in the ones that will follow, these are all examples of his positional awareness and his intelligence on the pitch. I think he is so good at either finding space in this particular area of the pitch, which then helps us get on the front foot and directly attack the opposition. In this first image, he's able to release the ball quickly into the feet of Maatsen, who's in space down the left flank, and Villa are on the attack and putting pressure on PSG, trying to find a breakthrough. In addition, as seen in this next image on screen now, this one also started in our own half, and another really effective thing that Hemmings is good at is being able to spin away from pressure, beat his man, then fend them off and directly start attacking the PSG defence. He is so efficient at receiving the ball deeper and then turning and driving at the opposition. And I think that is the main reason why many are drawing similarities between him and Jacob Ramsey. Now, he'll know better than anyone that he needs to add goals and assists to his game if he's going to play in that role. We saw an example of his improved finishing against Warsaw at the start of the summer. He took that goal really, really well. And although he kind of snatched a chance in this game against PSG, I thought it was positive that he got into good areas to pose a genuine threat. Now in this next image on screen, again, it shows the ability to find space and time between the lines, and then he's got that awareness and vision to progress the ball forward into the feet of Emi Buendia, and that leads to a dangerous opportunity for us. Again, in this next image, it's that pocket of space on the left side where he's got away from his marker. It opens up the pitch in front of him, and that is the part where he still needs to become more decisive, as he's got Brian Madjo making that run in front of him, as you can see. He needs to release that pass quicker and play him in, but I think in this occasion he hesitated. The defenders got back in numbers and he then had to sort of turn back on himself and sensibly kept possession, but it kind of brought an end to the move, and that's where he needs to improve his game. But there's no doubt that that's obviously going to be an area that Emery and his coaching staff will continue to work with him on improving, and I'm sure we'll see that over time. And then in this final image for Hemmings on screen now, it's Madjo again at the heart of a dangerous move, but Hemmings has read the situation and he's ready to pounce, and he breaks through in on goal. Again, it could have led to a goal for him if he was more ruthless in that situation, but I think these are all really positive signs of his potential influence and impact in the team. So on to Brian Madjo next, and as I mentioned earlier, this is about more than just focusing on the obvious attributes. Yes, we know he's strong, he's powerful, he's an imposing figure when he's leading the line, and as I've touched on in previous podcasts, there's actually so much more to his game already, even at the age of just 17. I've been really impressed with a lot of his work, and I'll run through some of those aspects of his game now. So starting with this first image on screen, I think his movement is really clever and very dynamic. Here he's able to run the channel or out wide, drag the defender with him, and then you can see the huge amount of space that leaves behind in the middle, which his teammates can potentially expose if we get the next bit right. He's able to hold off the defender, wait for support to arrive, and keep the move flowing, and I think he does that really well. In this next image, it's just the cleverness and the timing and angle of his run. He wrong foots Pacho, I think it is, by drifting towards the left, and then he darts across him into space, and the defender is flat-footed, and he's able to get into that space first and then get to the ball. Buendia is able to release the ball to him, and then directly following on from that, we see in the next image on screen, Madjo's attracted 3 PSG players to him as he holds the ball. Hemmings and Buendia have now caught up and got into the final third, and it's McGinn who's in loads of space on the right-hand side, and it's the Villa skipper who Madjo offloads the ball to. And that isn't where this move ends. If we skip to the next image, Madjo isn't just happy admiring his work in the build-up play and he thinks, yep, that's my job done, and I'll now just allow the move to progress. He spins away, and in this next image, you can not only see that he's advanced into a dangerous area, but look how smartly he's positioned himself in between the 2 PSG centre-halves, and this is the header that he glances just off target. So he's at the absolute heart of creating this chance, and then it's just a shame that he couldn't finish it off and score earlier. The next image is his other big chance in this half, and from a more critical perspective, he should really score. It's a free header, the goal's right in front of him, and he should know that he has to be drilling that header and putting the ball in the back of the net. But again, this is something that we've seen right through pre-season with Madjo. He's got the instincts and the awareness to be in the right areas in the box to score goals and be a threat. He finds space in a crowded box. He's got the strength and the height to make that cross his. And again, as I say, it's just unfortunate that he wasn't able to apply the finish to wrap it up. The next image, it's that clever movement and run again. He's got Pacho on the back foot. He's pinning him back towards his own goal because Pacho knows that he's going to lose the 1v1 with the strength that Madjo has. But it's that dart across him into the space in a wider area, and it's Buendia again who finds him. And that becomes another dangerous situation in which he probably should do better, but I think he hits the post on this occasion. And then for his goal, it's another brilliant delivery from McGinn. I thought our skipper was on the money with his crosses all game. And Madjo doing what a good striker should do. He anticipates the ball reaching him at the back post. He doesn't switch off. He keeps his eye on the ball. You can see that in the replays of the goal, how focused he looks. And it's a fantastic finish to finally get himself on the score sheet. And then this next bit is another bit of his game that I really love in this next image. He's able to drop deeper. He holds off the press. He stays patient and he keeps possession and he keeps our move flowing. But again, it's not just the easy bits that he's happy to do and then admire his work. He immediately spins off his defender. And as you can see in this next image, it's a sensational pass from Buendia yet again that puts Madjo through in on goal, and it leads to the effort that McGinn has, which is saved comfortably. So as I said, for both Hemmings and Madjo, there is just so much to like about what they contribute, and it's more than just the obvious. I really do think that they've got a great shot at being important members of Emery's squad this season, and we'll see how they get on when the season starts, if we do indeed opt against loaning them out. So what did you make of Hemmings and Madjo against PSG? Do you think Emery should keep them in the squad for the upcoming season, or would they benefit from a loan spell before breaking into the first team next year? Let me know your thoughts. If you're listening on YouTube, you can leave your answers below. But you can also check out the Talk Villa podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify or other means, or head over to talkvilla.substack.com and get involved in the conversation over there. So that's a wrap on this episode. A big thank you as always for taking the time to have a listen. I do hope you're enjoying these video analysis posts that I'm doing. Please subscribe to the pod or channel depending on where you're listening. So that's either on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever else you get your podcast from. Please do give this episode a like or leave a positive review if you've enjoyed it. Sign up to the Talk Villa Plus newsletter on Substack for ad-free Villa news, opinions and analysis, all of which is delivered directly to you. And there's also an option of a paid subscription for bonus content. All the details will be in the description of this podcast, but for more, please go to talkvilla.substack.com and subscribe with plenty more content to come as the new season gets underway in just over a week's time. So among the many positives from the PSG game, despite the results, it was Hemmings and Madjo who emerged as the two biggest positives on the night. It will be fascinating to see what Emery and Villa decide between now and the end of the transfer window, but I think from the way in which the Villa boss has used them in pre-season and how the squad has spoken about them and Emery himself has praised them, I really do think they're both being prepared to be part of our first team squad this season, and that is really exciting to follow their development. I'll be back with another Talk Villa podcast over the weekend after our final pre-season friendly against Borussia Mönchengladbach. And if there is a particular performance that stands out from that game and you are enjoying these video analysis posts, I will look to do another analysis video as well. But until then, up the Villa.